Okay, guys, so we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly referee today, because today we are carrying on with our ongoing campaign playing... Oh, where the heck did I put the... Did I grab a core rulebook? Here we go. We're playing Mongoose Publishing's outstanding Traveler science fiction role-playing game, 2nd edition, the 2022 edition, although it's identical to the previous edition. And we are currently playing a mini adventure, I guess, called Intermezzo Uno, which is a bridge between our previous module, the Borderland Run, and where we'll be going next. With me today is almost the entire crew of the Rift Wanderer. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing today? First up, we've got James.
Hi, I'm James, and I'm playing Captain Gunny. Engineering aficionado and fanatic.
Very nice. Next up is David.
Hi everyone, I'm David. I'm playing Dr. Ilyas Abdel, who is a co-owner of the Rift Wanderer, a physician.
Very nice. Next up is Carl.
Hello, I'm Carl, and I'm playing Anchor Gavel, who is an Imperial-raised barter, uplifted canine species. He's the expert pilot of the Rift Wanderer.
Very nice. And last but certainly not least, taking on 2 roles today, is Graham.
Hi, I'm Graham. So I'm playing the familiar Dane Loverick, who is an ex-Imperial Marine and is now a military attaché working for a clan in Aslan space. And I'm also playing a new character who was introduced last time, called, or at least humans will pronounce it as Laris Zathu. And he is a Darien, and he has a range of skills which are now being employed in this particular adventure.
Very nice. So I have one bit of good news, guys. I did remember just the last second. We're going to do the summary or the catch up in a second here, but I did remember to actually load. Here we go. A picture of the warrant ship. So, no more holding up a book to the camera. Look how great that thing looks. Holy smokes.
Wow.
But what happened last time, guys? Everyone's stunned into silence for the beauty of the warrant ship. I knew it was important to get it in today.
Wow.
I'm not good at these summaries, so someone else has to.
We, on our way back to... Well, it was a bit before we arrived, where Laris was drawn into a missing persons case. One of his co-workers has gone missing, presumed kidnapped by nefarious factions. That missing co-worker is Alahasi, so a friend to the crew of the Rift Wanderer. So Laris was doing some investigating, and then when we arrived in the system, we were made aware of her kidnapping. And obviously, we assume that has something to do with enemies of Tilitoral. I'm not quite sure which faction or how exactly, but we're still quite some hours away. I was sort of trying to coordinate how best to approach this. We're fairly certain she's still on the world.
Yeah.
And Laris and Ultima 1 did some sleuthing to narrow it down to one location. Within sort of less used part of the world, and we got a super fast space Uber to come and pick us up from our ship to get us back to the world quicker, and also without people realizing that we might be on the world, because the Rift Wanderer is still sort of hours and hours away from docking with the station.
Yeah.
And we met up with, I think we sort of docked somewhere on the world where we shouldn't really dock to get on board, but Laris works in traffic control and was able to sort of go, that's okay, that's fine. Maintenance hatch 5 needed to be opening.
As I recall, we kind of actually positioned the ship in really high close proximity to the location that we believe Elahasi is actually being held. And yes, it's not a formal starport location, as you say, but there is a lot of sort of derelict and sort of vacant sections within this sort of metropolis, and so I could find a place that would easily accommodate the ship. But some good piloting, I seem to remember from Anchor to actually get us down.
Yeah, to dock with the Super Uber.
Yeah, and I think I can't. Yeah. I was rewatching the last little bit of the session to remember where we left off, and you guys actually did a bit of a like driving deployment thing where you were flying by and people were jumping off to get onto the station to make it appear as if they were just normally approaching and landing.
Also found out that 2 of the ships associated with the people who attacked us last time are still in orbit.
Yep.
And were kept at bay by Larry sort of helping us without us noticing last time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also a ship docked with the world that's sort of communicating with those ships.
Yeah.
And that ship is registered to our least favorite red investigator in all of Trojan Reach, Owen Tian.
Owen Tian. Yep.
Who seems to be behind all of this or involved in this. And then, we were getting ready to leap into action potentially and rescue Alahasi.
And his associate, Mr. Grixon, I think Dane was well acquainted with, in the wordless grunting and staring down kind of capacity.
That's right.
All right. I think that's. Is there anything else that you guys feel we're missing from our summary, or? I think we're up to speed.
I think we are.
So then why don't we start our session? So we're not going to have 2 dice come. It'll be like 1 dice of luck per player, not per character. So if everyone just rolls 1 dice, we'll see what kind of luck we're working with. Whoa.
Not a lot.
Eesh.
Here it goes. Captain Ganny's going to get the 6.
Oh.
No pressure.
He was meant to. He had it even queued up. And another awesome roll.
8.
Wow.
Okay.
Not much.
So you're just prevailing on chat to donate. We are not doing that again, too. That was a one-time thing. I don't want to be forcing anyone to make donations or, anything like that. So we're picking up, I suppose, with everyone meeting one another. So I believe we have everyone other than. Did Teal Toro come with you, or did Teal Toro remain on? I think he and Alonso remained on the Rift Wanderer in the event that anything went wrong. Otherwise, you were leaving, Lucy and Nursebot in charge. Yeah. So I'm assuming we didn't do that.
This is the spin-off from the main show, the wacky adventures of Lucy and Nursebot.
Exactly. Won't make it past pilot. So, and I actually, come to think of it, I think you brought Nursebot with you. Because I thought someone was injured. So you were. Oh no, you brought your scanner. That's with you, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Right. Wait, did you? I thought you were loading
I said I was prepping Nursebot just in case, but I don't think they're part of the assault.
Right, and that was prior to the Space Uber proposal, I think. So, all right. Then
we left our golf playing comrade in charge of it.
Yeah, he's doing his podcast and sending it out to the space waves, so they think we're still there.
I'm doing putting practice in the cargo bay.
That is so much better for Alonso. He's not actually working on his book. He's just doing a podcast and his
podcasting our adventure.
0G golf.
Oh my God. Although it would be the true novelist if what he's doing is, having written one novel, he now just coasts off of that and does nothing but podcasting for the rest of his career. So what we'll see is, like I said, it is otherwise everybody who is here and Ultima One in this abandoned and, you know, not powered down. There's still life support here, and there still is like running lights, but otherwise the lights would be powered down. There wouldn't be the usual full lighting, you know, complement. There may be some malfunctions indoors and so forth. What are you guys doing next?
I believe Laris had intel about where we were supposed to go.
Did we do introductions last session? I don't think so. We'd arrived with a dramatic kind of through the spaceport. We talked about what everyone saw, but we haven't done actual introductions yet.
No.
So let's start with that. So Laris and Ultima 1 are there, along with Captain Gani, Anchor, Dr. Ilias, and Dane. So Ultima 1 is likely the first one. He deactivates his active camouflage and says, the trip, you made it. Welcome back to the world. This is Laris Zathu, a co-worker of Elihase and someone who has gone to great lengths to assist in this recovery.
It's an absolute pleasure to meet you all. I've heard so much about you, and it is a great delight to see you all in the flesh, as it were. Welcome to the world. It is one of the least welcoming places, especially for you, I think.
It's good to see you again, Ultima 1.
And you, Anchor.
Thank you for your help, Mr. Zathu.
Yes, no, it's a pleasure to help you. I think the things that you've been doing have been quite momentous, and the stories of the Grift Wanderer are now circulating across the Borderlands. That may either be regarded to you as a good thing or a not so good thing, but nevertheless, your names now precede you.
I've listened to every one of Mr. Santoro's podcasts on the issue, and...
Oh, is that why we're well known?
Well, a version of us.
Talk about operational security. We have to have a talk with them, Captain, when we get back.
I believe we owe you some gratitude, Laris.
Oh, I have done what I can. I have some influence in near space control for the world, and this has proved most efficacious to support you in your endeavors.
You had mentioned, this is Ultima 1, you had mentioned that the individuals who own the warrant ship on board, that you had prior dealings with them.
Yes, we encountered them on Gibraltar Station.
Yep.
Correct. Yeah. They were after our friend Tilatoril. Quite a bit of a fracas. Didn't strike me as too much of a threat at the time, but they're obviously very persistent or hold a grudge.
They're still being paid, says Dane. I suspect they're still being paid. And
maybe we should pay them more.
Maybe we should.
From your dealings with them before, do they strike you as... It seems as if there were both mercenaries and now rent investigators. It seems, for bounty hunters, it seems unusual to be involved in an armed kidnapping. Does that strike you as how they would conduct themselves previously? And you guys, as a reminder, Gibraltar Station did have a relatively high law level, so it was a lot more... It may very well be, you play to the audience you got, as it were, where when you can get away with more, you employ more, but Gibraltar Station would not have been a place where it would have been accepted for people to be blazing away with guns and then try to go in hiding.
Yes, I can only apologise for the socio-economic position of this planetary system. It does not accord for a particularly civil and consistent relationships. It is most bizarre. I find the place very difficult to understand, says Laris.
How would Dane respond to that?
It does at times seem like another war zone. I'm used to working in war zones.
Yeah, really. That's what my thought was. And when Nara said that, Danes would be like, "This is, yeah, in comparison."
Yeah.
Yeah. So, then, you didn't. So we didn't get. You said that this place was lawless. Ultima One had asked about these rent investigators.
I assume they've not reached out to anyone in terms of demands, ransoms.
They have not as of yet, which makes me think it, at least, whatever has happened may not have gone according to their plan.
We don't really quite yet, if I recall, understand what their plan really is, what outcomes they are looking to achieve by these actions. And on that basis, we should proceed on the basis of trying to understand that as we go in. There may be opportunities to do that, and as Anka rightly says, maybe we can negotiate.
Ultima One nods. I would agree. Whether these are mercenaries or rent investigators, they are hired guns, not grinding a personal axe, as it were.
And we don't know who is paying them, although we can suspect.
Was that Dane saying that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ultima One says, I would agree. Do you think enemies? From word we got the I can't remember offhand, the clan Eowoi, I think was the enemy clan.
Yeah, that's right.
The Eowoi clan. You think them petty enough to strike out? Or
their actions have been dishonorable so far, and petty is certainly one way of putting it. It's possible. Tila Tora has no shortage of enemies.
Indeed.
Unfortunately, yeah.
But as a pending outcast, or at least a potential outcast, he is in an even weaker standing than what the typical Ihate would be. He has lost one army. He has only his most loyal retainers with him, and you, Dane. And so to what end would they gain in blackmailing him or trying to influence him into doing anything? I don't disagree that Tila Toro is an impressive man and will be celebrated in this region for his success against the Elehase, against the Iowoi. But what do they gain by trying to influence him?
It doesn't make a lot of sense, I would agree, Ultima One. There is the possibility that they are simply desiring, the word petty was the word that you used, they could be just seeking to hurt him.
It may be, but the expenditure of resources in order to achieve this seems extraordinary. I wonder, is there one who might have more personal means, or whether someone is operating under imperfect understanding? Anna agrees.
Then that's probably true.
She's always, I don't know, she's a very deceptive co-game master, so I would caution against taking 2 cents from her.
Well, at the end of the day, we're going to have to go in with imperfect intelligence and not knowing everything. If that becomes apparent as we go in, fine. But our main outcome is to secure the asset, secure Elohasi, and get her free. If we understand, and we should try to make it possible for us to understand the whys in this situation, then we will do so. But for now, we need to crack on and get her out. If we can negotiate on the basis that they're operating with the incorrect information, then fine, we can use that. Otherwise, they all die and she gets out.
Speaking of them all, do we have an idea of how many of them were involved in this? Is it just our 2 friends, or do they have backup?
There was the initial kidnapping, I believe, was like between 6 and 8 people, at least on camera. And what Ultima One can tell you is there is a contingent of about 15 in the where they hold themselves up. Ultima One also believes that there is... Oh, let me check and see if he's got cameras inbuilt. He actually may be able to show you where they're... where they're actually held up.
Yeah, it's probably time to do a bit of tactical planning and just very quick, unless we want to sort of do it on flashback, but let's work out how we're going to get in and get her out.
Here we go. You can climb walls too.
Mm-hmm.
Does not have inbuilt cameras. I mean, you guys insisted on going on the basic model of Ultima One, so if you'd sprung for the deluxe package, then you'd have
I was
cameras.
hoping to be able to upgrade by software, but there we are. Never mind.
Subscribe.
yeah.
Gidico, we can provide those services. So, what is the plan then? Or I guess first off, does anyone else have any questions or for either Laris or for Ultima One? No? Then what do we do?
This would go over to Dane, who's far more experienced in these matters. Do we make contact and try to negotiate first? Do we go in guns blazing?
Yeah.
Do we do both? Or have some distract?
I think
I'm making contact.
I think we get a technical schematic, even if it's theatre of the mind. If we get a technical schematic of the location, start to understand our approach to getting her out, and on the basis of we understand what our plan B will be, we can then execute our plan A, which would be attempt to create contact and in our traditionally perfect negotiating style.
Dane shows up in the middle of the night and murders a bunch of people.
Yeah. just fingering the sort of my knife sort of hilt.
Kill everybody and let God sort it out.
Yeah, exactly.
So what Ultima One has noticed that there are surveillance drones that have been set up in the approaches. Okay. So while Ultima One can likely come and go as needed in there, either you'll be spotted or it would likely be noted that the drones would be damaged. They seem to have deterred any other locals from in the region, so they've driven out whatever other folks were squatting in the area. They've made, as best they can, a defensible place, but Laris, you would know that the way, I think we talked about this last time, but it does seem like they seem to be aware of what places have exposure and which ones do not, which would mean access to certain parts of the security system. I recall that unless you're going and actually trying to observe which ones are active or not active, the way that you would get an idea of what places are under surveillance or not is by access to information that the security forces would have. And the contractor security forces here are the Aslan in service to Tila Toral.
Okay. So we could make that request. Is that what you're saying?
I more mean that if what they've done thus far is stuck to the places that cannot be observed, and they don't seem to have set themselves up in a place they intended to set themselves up. They've got a defensible place here, so maybe they had a plan B, like fallback place. But where, you may remember when some of the security folks scouted out where the mercenaries are still staying, there was no sign of Elihase or anyone else there.
Right.
So if they knew to not be in places where surveillance would cover them, that means they had that information. And the only way you get that information is through security.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting in a bad way. I wonder if Tila Tora has any somebody closer to home. Somebody within the clan.
Dr. Ilias, would you give us just an intelligence or intellect check, please? Let's get some dice rolling here.
He's a bright fella. He's a bright fella, as the dog.
Very bright. Dr. Ilias, what was your interaction with what lesson did you take away from your interaction with Mr. Tian and Mr. Gruxon?
They are very sneaky and tricksy and very good with computer type stuff, such as implanting bugs on your devices. So they may have somehow compromised the station security, gained access to things they should have access to.
Mm.
So hopefully it doesn't have to mean that Littoral has enemies closer to home. It could just be them being up to their usual tricks.
And do you think we can compromise their compromised security?
I look over at Ultima 1. I'm going to go with yes.
Oh, most assuredly.
Okay. Can we do that then? And can we work out a route in, or indeed several routes in, if that's better, and try and take out their security?
That is unlikely, but you would have a route back. If, assuming that this is the case, that they have done that, what you would have is a whatever pipeline back to their monitoring. If you wanted to communicate with them directly, that would be a way of doing so.
Okay.
It may also spook them if they do that, but as far as hacking through to whatever their monitoring thing is and then trying to subvert whatever surveillance, that would assume that everything is like slaved together in some kind of, common server, and not that they're just making do with whatever. Not for nothing, Ultima One spotted the drones.
Can we look at it a different way? Just another question, another angle, really.
Mm-hmm.
Are they kind of hemmed in? Are they able to actually get out anyway? Like, I don't think they are.
They are able to move in other areas that are not under surveillance, but they haven't revealed themselves anywhere thus far. And if Laris is able to draw a line from where they are to where the warship is, it has to pass through surveilled areas. They would have to reveal themselves.
I don't think they're getting out. Maybe they will, but I don't think they're getting out. I think they're stuck. And if your prey is like got its back to the wall, it'll operate differently, which might make negotiating easier because they've got less options to get away. Maybe. Okay. Well, who wants to negotiate with them? Well, we set up I guess a sort of an infiltration strike team if we can manage it.
You cannot see it because obviously he is not here, but you feel the eyes of Tila Toro on you, Dr. Elias.
Not a spy. No. But I can talk to people, so I think Dr. Elias would be more up for, even if it's just to distract them, keep their attention focused elsewhere, open negotiations. And because David has watched Alien yesterday, I have to ask, are there air ducts? In and out of this place.
All right. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
There are air ducts, but likely they're not directly accessing to them, or at least not that you're. Yeah. But what would you like to do then? For Ultima One, he does have a wireless link, so long as he's got access to a comm unit, to the security, the world security, then he could access that and try and find whether or not they did the same thing they did with Dr. Elias and hacked some comm unit and then access the mainframe.
Mm-hmm.
Which is perhaps the most 90s sentence I've said in this campaign thus far. He also did it while having rollerblades and...
Brilliant. I'll put it all in my Lotus 1, 2, 3 spreadsheet. And see how we go.
So what is the word then? Would you like Ultima to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. So, his skill. Would someone give us a 2d6 roll, please?
Just random 2d6.
Yeah, he's got his 4. Holy smokes! His okay. So that's not
Hopefully that's for the bad guys.
Yeah. Cheapers. I did not realize his stat. I actually don't know what the bonus is with this because it's so high. Sec here. Okay, caps out at +3 for those who are curious. Your regardless of how much higher, once you hit 15, anything over that is only +3. Fortunately, that is a net 12 between his skill level and his intellect. This is his wheelhouse, though, right? Like the So
good thing I didn't roll a double one.
Yeah, his head. Now at this hour, I turn on you. Vengeance is clanny, oh boy. What he accesses this. His face goes, kind of he's not a particularly emotive individual when he's not trying to be, kind or nice. Or at least appear that way. But his face goes pretty much neutral for a few minutes, giving you an opportunity to talk about any contingencies or what you do if you're not able to. If this isn't the case and there is a traitor among the Aslan. What, if anything, do you guys talk about?
Well, there was that guy, the guy that Tila Toril, your old mentor turned rival. I mean, perhaps they are behind it.
The guy on
That
Sync?
group. Yeah.
Yeah.
So our plan currently is I will reach out to them and sort of pretend we're rumpled, see if we can negotiate something, while the rest of you all try and sneak in, or just Dane.
Rest of us, I think, it's we're all quite combat savvy, so if there's 15 of them, probably just need some more firepower. So get tooled up, I guess.
Okay.
Clap on the armor, get your extra clips with your weapons, and
so everyone's getting their weaponry ready. Anything else?
No, getting our weapons ready to go.
Okay.
The other option we might have, assuming they don't already know we're on the station, they're tracking the Rift Wanderer, they'll assume we're still a few hours away. Laris, would you be happy to talk to them as a friend, co-worker, and pretend you're trying to negotiate her release on behalf of the Aslan? That way they wouldn't know that we're here already. Whereas if I talk to them, they can assume that we somehow jumped ahead of the Rift Wanderer and made it to the station.
I can do that if you would like. I'm very happy to talk to them and try to negotiate them down. I wonder if the gravitas that you have, Dr. Ilias, along with the team that you have, would precipitate a more hurried and desperate response from them than anything that I could persuade them for. Having said that, I am still in a position to be able to help you if that's what you as a group think I should do.
Not sure we want desperate responses from them. How desperate might they get?
How obdurate are they usually? I can try. I could be the opening attempt, if you wish.
They also did not encounter... they're not aware that Ultima 1 is part of the crew either, for that matter. The alternative, I suppose, would be that by you suddenly being here, you do, in a conversational sense, put them on their back footing because they don't realize that you should be, that you're here already.
Yeah.
And to be fair, part of the possibility is that they're not operating fully understanding the changing situation, the changing sociopolitics. They might be holding on to not realizing of the events that have taken place.
True.
Tyok. I don't know. We don't have enough data.
Captain? Anchor? Do you have a preference? Do we give away that sort of element of surprise in the hope of rumpling them, or keep our presence hidden for a little bit longer?
I suspect. Doubt it's going to phase them much, but a bit of surprise is better. The less they know, the better, maybe.
Yeah, at least until Dane and you are in place.
Yes. Yeah.
So what is the plan for the assault then, if it's going to come to that? Because you will have those drones will either need to be neutralized or you'll need to let them see you.
Is there anything we can do to neutralize them?
It certainly is, but not in such a way, not in a way to compromise them so that they wouldn't be aware of that. I mean, Ultima 1 might be able to if you just destroy them, you certainly could do that, but they would be aware that
definitely. It's probably better to spook. I don't know. I don't know what the equivalent is in Traveler, but in like a Shadowrun typey game.
Yeah.
Sorry to meta, but we'd like spoof them or get them into a loop or take them over.
Yeah. No, and that's I think Ultima 1 may be able to help with that.
Maybe take them over if it's possible to take them over, then we'll have what they see, what they think they see, and can control that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that's an option.
Yeah, I mean, Ultima 1's got a pretty big bonus to his computer score, and he's got a wireless link, so he could do that for you. In which case, how do you get into the actual place? Are you just going to blaze your way in?
Is there a sewer?
There is a sewer system that is on here, but not in the city sense that you would be able to, or would want to.
Are there any sort of
alleys,
access
back
conduits?
doors?
Yeah, anything like that?
Likely not. No, they've chosen their place quite well.
We kick the door in and we kill everybody then.
Well, but not, except for the prisoner.
Oh yeah.
Everyone write that down. Don't.
At least think twice before shooting Aslan.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I mean, so the doors is there like a roof? I don't know if this is enclosed or like built into the rock or station.
Like if you had something to cut through a hull, you could cut from a deck above down into this, but that would be time-consuming and likely would, assuming you could get access to the gear, which you probably could here in the hangar.
But maybe we can do that. I don't know, unless you think that if they know someone's coming. Like I was thinking, maybe using something like that as a distraction. But unless you guys think if someone's coming, they're gonna, kill the prisoner.
Yeah.
Or kill the hostage. Yeah. I mean, then we could use that as a distraction. They go, oh, they're coming from above, and then we kick down the door, and they're all up top.
Again, if they're working on, if they're paid, if you kill the hostage, it's probably going to go bad for you because they're the shield of your chip. And if you're a mercenary, you're not there to die for the cause. If they're fanatical people they might be more inclined to kill the hostage. It's a bargaining chip for a mercenary.
Yeah.
And a shield.
What if we just negotiate with them and say, hey, we got you surrounded? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, could try. I mean, certainly we could go from above and on the ground floor.
Or below, if that matter.
Or below.
Below, right.
Below would be great. Well, that's what we do. That's what we plan to do.
His tactics reveal two-dimensional thinking. So then that would take you some time to collect that. You most certainly would have access to that sort of tools in the hangar bay. The startboard here has some of those tools that would be sufficient to cut off, pieces of hull and such. That would be powerful enough to cut through the hull or the decks here.
Okay.
And not in a lightsaber kind of way. Like you would probably only need to access certain points and then, pull through and whatnot. So even the world is likely designed to be pulled apart, put back together in an easy way, while in operation. So, Laris, I can't remember. Do you have? Let me think here. My brain is going history stuff, but how much has Laris looked into the superstructure of here?
I don't think very much from last session.
Oh, no, but I mean in general since coming to here. You said he's a xenoarchaeologist, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, give us a xenoarchaeology roll or whatever skill you think would be appropriate for that.
I do have archaeology.
Excellent.
Let's just make a roll and see what happens.
So, Laris, let me ask you this. What was this station originally built for? I guess less the purpose. What was the arrangement between the occupants of the world? outside of the playset is allowed to be accessed by others.
I'm right in saying that this covers the entire surface. Is that right?
Not the surface. No, the world is in orbit, but it is a space station that's effectively like it is fully concealed, right? There is the masters and there's everyone else who's on the world that has no idea they're on a space station.
Right.
So if you're building a space station that is going to be designed for that effect, what do you think one key component for your architectural design is going to be?
Is it to basically close off stuff so that knowledge of what you are isn't leaking into the
That's definitely one part of it. If you are thinking from the master's perspective, and let me think of also more in your backyard, the architectural design choices that were made during the suppression of Catholics in England.
Oh, okay. So are there any sort of access points, escape points?
This place would have been designed to accommodate places where the masters can move in, move out without observation.
Without being accessed, yeah.
Right? So, and I think maybe it just dawns on you now, Laris, that if you did a design, there's been changes made once they've opened this place up for non-inhabitants of the world to access it. It definitely will be more challenging, but there may very well be remnants of those secret passages that the masters would use to surveil and then access parts of the station. This place doesn't run on its own. There are times where the masters would need to interact with the inhabitants, and that would be the way that they could move around.
If we could certainly tap into that, that would be interesting, so we could check the schematics for anything like that.
Yeah, so we'll treat your archaeology roll as a first thing in a skill chain. So I think that grants you +3 or +2? Skill chain +3. Because you succeeded by 5? You want to spend 1 luck and make that a 14? That'll give you a +3.
Okay, let's do that. Thank you, Dr. Elias.
You know, to be honest, hold on. Like, because you guys are operating on limited luck, the +1, if it really comes down to that extra 1 bonus, you could choose to spend the luck then.
Yeah.
Right? So it may not even be worth it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
I got plenty of other opportunities to take your luck. So
yeah, we might need it for something a little bit more immediate and crucial.
So how do you think you would go about getting a confirmation of the current layout of this unsurveilled area?
That would be through general sort of station schematics that would be available on sort of Starport Authority.
Yeah, and I think, you think here, because the law level is so low, I think that likely translate to like building code stuff too. So they're probably, absent a physical. What I'm saying is that you're going to be limited in a historic view on what the station was like at some point if you're able to locate something like that.
Yeah, if the law level's so low, it might be that you can just buy them. There's people who sort of will almost have like cell schematics and different information because
I'm thinking more like this is like the favelas, means of urban development as opposed to something that is controlled by a central authority.
Right. Yeah, it's probably true.
But how do you think you might gain that? That does not mean you can't gain that information. It just means that
perhaps just find the right people who've got it.
Who do you think those people might be?
Well, I would have thought the people who originally built the masters might have it.
Well, again, but would that not be a historic perspective, though, not a current perspective?
Yeah, it would. So you'd have to go back into the annals of history, almost, to find it.
There must be smugglers and tunnel rats here, right, that scavenge through Station 4. There must be someone who just spends time crawling through the walls looking for spare parts and riches.
There definitely is, and when you were talking to Ultima One, he did happen to mention that there were people displaced from this place by Mr. Tian, Mr. Gruxon.
Oh, right.
They would have reason to help us. We could
Yeah,
get
they
Joe
would.
back. They would
They'd be
know it.
displaced. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, of course. Let's find them. Get what we need.
Okay. So then Ultima One, this is probably sufficient time for him to have completed the thing. And he said, I have accessed the security mainframe. And it is as you expected. They have accessed they have a tunneling, I don't know what the fucking terminology should be. They have a tunneling program in the Trojan, I believe it was called. They are monitoring the surveillance and they are monitoring the security response. Do you wish for me to terminate the connection, to contact them, or to pause their connection?
What do you think? Maybe when the time is right to pause it? Not let them know that we can do that until we really need to do that.
Laris, do you still intend on speaking to them?
Oh yes, I would. It would be very good to strike up an accord with them to see if we can come to some sort of mutual agreement. It is far more productive that we do that than the risks that would be involved in some sort of an assault.
You see, Ultima One kind of stops. I hear you were discussing. It seems that he's been listening to what you guys have been saying and is sort of like, caught himself up in the conversation on a fast-forward basis. You had proposed finding those displaced by the kidnappers.
Yes.
I suspect those living in these circumstances do not have a wealth of options for where to relocate, so they may be easy to find.
We don't have a lot of time.
Indeed. So, we have an assault, we have a way of contacting them, and we have the displaced individuals who had occupied this before. What do we do now?
Oh, so the mercenaries kicked these people out, huh?
Yeah.
It does not appear to be a intended stronghold for them.
Well,
so you feel like we can talk to these people and recruit them to our side? Say, hey, we're gonna help you get your stuff back?
Yeah.
More gain knowledge about secret passages they might have discovered, and a deeper understanding of the place they called home.
Yeah, with the payout for them being, we'll get your home back, clear these guys out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And the gratitude of the Aslan.
Oh.
That probably should be the order, shouldn't it? Find the people, understand the environment better, negotiate. If that fails, we go in.
Okay. So then, I guess, are you doing this all together, or are you splitting up in any way?
I think we can't do much until we know the environment better.
Yeah.
The assault team needs to know how we're going to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we stay.
So then, let's see here. I think then Streetwise comes to the fore. once again, who would like to give us... So the Streetwise check right now, I'm going to bump the time down by 1 increment, because I think you guys already know sort of where these folks would be. So it'll be 1d6 times 10 minutes as a base. You could speed that up by adding, making the target number a 10 instead of an 8. What do you guys think? It'll be intelligence and streetwise.
Yeah. Laris is a
most
little bit
streetwise character. Oh, good.
I've only got. I'm on 0, but at least I'm trained in it.
At least you're not. Yeah.
I wondered if local knowledge might give me a boon.
I would absolutely buy that. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe Laris will lead on this.
Sure.
For this element, just to see how he does.
Yeah. So roll. Give us a streetwise roll with a boon. Your target number, assuming you're speeding it up, is a D. Is a 10.
Okay. Let's just submit that and see what we get.
Ooh. But. Oh no, hold on. We don't get to apply the archaeology bonus. So it'll be 1 luck in order to bump that to a success.
Let's do that then. Yep. Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, so then would you give us? Let's have Dr. Ilias. Would you give us a D6 roll? Laris / Alonso is trying to have his dinner, so quick getting him back to his keyboard. 6. Okay, so it does take you 6 minutes to sort of find these people. Because you're sort of rushing, Ultima 1 brings you to where they are. Now, would you... Well, actually, you rolled well enough to find them. So I guess it is a matter of... let's see here. I think this would probably be either maybe... Well, streetwise, broker, and diplomat. I can see... Diplomat seems like the least likely because it's not high society you're dealing with here.
Yeah.
But streetwise doesn't give the examples of like negotiating or horse trading. Whereas broker's all about like negotiating a deal.
Persuade?
Yeah. Persuade?
Yes. Yep, I would buy that. Absolutely. Yep, that's the right one. So it would be asking the alien space princess to marry you. Noting that for the next time you guys are on Drinax.
Scary.
Yeah.
She seemed like a nice enough person.
She seems like a nice enough person, and she, I believe, has at least 30 years on any of you.
She's rich.
She's very rich.
Maybe not Laris. Laris is Darien, right? So.
So the... we'll roll that +1 forward to who would like to give us the persuade roll? These folks, you can picture, these are effectively like the space station equivalent of transients. They're unhoused people who have nowhere else to go. They got to live in a place where there's no surveillance, so they're pretty leery, particularly when you're showing up with, you know, like you're about to invade Poland. Lots of trench coats, lots of weapons.
So Laris doesn't have probably the breadth of skills that the team has, but he is a amicable and persuasive person. So I have persuasion at 2.
Okay.
And I might even know of, if not them, then perhaps their families in the situation.
Yeah, and I think that you, with the way you described how Laris has ingratiated himself to different folks on the station, the, beautiful, glowing, gold-skinned, white-haired fellow who's friendly probably stands out on, on this station. So why don't you give us the same thing, roll with, I don't think a boon, because we haven't talked about him doing, like, volunteer work or charity work with the indigent, but we'll give you the +1 from Streetwise, and the difficulty will only be 8 here.
So can I put the modifier in, but without
yes,
the plus?
Just remember put a 1, don't put a plus sign in, otherwise the whole station blows up.
Oh, let's see what happens. Come on.
Nice. I think this is someone you've run into before.
I think it is, you know.
Yeah. So.
Oh, wait a minute. I think I may still have. My apologies. I need to roll that again. Sorry, I've still got the boon highlighted on my sheet.
1 point difference. So it's a 13 as opposed to 14. Yeah, you roll.
All right.
4, 5, 5. If you hover over the result, it'll show you what your dice rolls were.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So even with 13, that's an astounding result. So, what you can picture is these folks are effectively like all piled into you can hear them arguing about what's going to do, and you can hear crying from in there as well, because it sounds like, Dr. Ilias, you know the sound of someone in pain, literal pain. There is about 8 of them from the sounds of things, and you can picture a place where, like, you know, there would be a sliding door of some kind that would seal off this unit, but it's been broken, so it's just open in there. There are some, you know, what look to be chem lights that these folks are making use of in order to have any kind of useful illumination in this area. And there's the smell of both like some kind of electric stove that is operating, the smell of ozone, and the smell of cooking food. Laris, how do you approach?
So, I'm going to continue, despite the fact my Firefox session has slightly crashed, but I can still speak. I don't know if you can still hear me.
You can. Do you want to hit refresh
Yes.
on Firefox?
No, it's going to be a case of closing the whole thing down and logging back into roll. So I'll carry on. I'm going to carry on in this sort of limited tunnel of data communication with these
We
people.
can also still see you.
Yeah, we can still see you, so you're using your
That's amazing.
imagination.
I'm visible on the YouTube. I'm frozen completely on Roll20. Weird. So I will say, good day to you, citizens. It is Laris Zathu here. I have a proposition for you, and I understand completely your plight. We have an opportunity to.
So you see someone run to the door who looks like he's a little agitated. He's got effectively like a shiv in his hand. And he's a human in his, like either Soleimani or Villani, in his, I think, like late 30s, early 40s. And he kind of gets there, and it's your light that is likely illuminating him. And then he sees it's you and calms a little bit. This guy is actually someone named Nellis, who you have dealt with or you've encountered before. He's maybe a beggar elsewhere on the station, or a scavenger elsewhere on the station, and he looks at you. You?
Yes, me. How are you, Nellis? You seem in difficult circumstances, even more difficult circumstances, if I may be bold.
What are you doing here?
I've come with a proposition. No, I've come with a proposition. I'm here to help.
Are the rest of you guys visible at this point, or did you send Laris home, here on his own?
What would Laris think? Would they be scared? Were they, if we showed up, or?
I wonder if I should go in alone just on this one. Just they might be quite jumpy.
If you wish to have backup, Ultima 1 does have the active camouflage.
Okay, maybe that then.
And sorry, David, I spoke over you.
Yeah. I think if there are sounds of people in pain, Dr. Ilias, even having been told to stay behind, he cannot help himself and will instinctively head towards the sounds of pain.
Okay.
Of course.
Who's this with you?
This is Dr. Ilias, a medical person. If you have anyone who is suffering, we can provide you with healthcare. And of course, bear in mind, Nellis, this is all free, and this is all for your benefit. We want to help you.
You see him locking eyes with you, and he's trying to weigh this, like this is just too good to be, true.
I give him the most angelic, beautiful smile.
Yeah. He looks at you, Dr. Ilias. You're a med doc?
Yes, I'm here to help. I believe someone is in pain. While you discuss matters with Mr. Zathu here, I would be happy to make a diagnosis.
come in. Those bastards shot them. We were leaving and they shot them. And he gestures you inside, and what you can find is there are two men in similar socioeconomic circumstances to Nellis, both of which seem to have suffered some kind of firearm-related injury. Neither particularly life-threatening, like it's like a leg and it's a grazing on a torso, but like if the torso injury had been a little further in one direction, potentially could have been life-threatening. I mean, no gunshot is not life-threatening necessarily, but, you know, that joking around kind of shooting.
If I will sort of kneel down next to them, get my medikit out, and start treating them while Laris negotiates. So
the summary is, Neris, that we want to neutralize the bastards and re-enable your accommodation. To do that, we need to get the best entry into the building so that we can clear them out and make space for you to be able to return. So, as a deal, the deal is simple. If you give us any intelligence on how best to get into the building, we will undertake the necessary activities, shall we call them, to clear the building and make it habitable for you and your colleagues again. It will be over in a matter of moments, and we can secure the place for you. How does that sound? And can you help?
You see he's struggling with something. We show you the secret way in. You'll kill them.
We will ensure that they are neutralized. What that exactly is will depend on the circumstances when we get into the building. So I cannot make any guarantees as to exactly what happens, but we will certainly get rid of them, one way or another.
You can hear one of the women who's sitting in the thing says, "You should get paid." Nels looks. That information, it's not free.
If Dr. Alias can catch Laris's line of sight, he'll just nod.
He'll nod
to the suggestion of payment.
Okay. Of course. Laris says, we would be able to provide some remuneration for you, not only to enable you to recover your accommodation, but perhaps, do it up a little bit. Perhaps, knock a few walls through and have a nice open area space to go with the kitchen. I'm very happy to do that.
Open it to space?
Oh, perhaps not open it up to space, no.
We could do that.
We can do that very quickly. But time is of the essence. We need to make this deal now.
Dr.
And
Ilias,
get on with it.
Why don't you give us a medicine or what is it, medic roll?
Medic, yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
It's just, what do you think it looks like as you immediately bring relief to these two individuals?
Wow.
No, but I think there's probably an element of having traveled with Dane and the others and having had or been adjacent to a few scraps that these are very minor shotgun wounds or gun wounds compared to what he has experienced. So he's listening into the negotiation and almost like his hands are just doing what they've been trained to do, what he's paying attention to Laris and the negotiation. But he will try to see if these are sort of standard gunshot wounds or if they're made from any weapons that we might not be aware of that they might have access to.
With a roll that good, you would know it would be the types of things you anticipated treating when the ambush happened on the world.
Right, yeah.
Very similar weaponry. This is not like the Gauss rifles and laser weapons and the types of things that you guys may be able to bring to bear here. This is the type of thing that low-end mercenaries are able to access, or smugglers, criminals, things like that. Again, unsuccessful ones. So you've got that.
I sort of.
Oh, go ahead.
Go on, sorry. No, I was going to say, and I also hand out a sort of a warm box with beef enchiladas, cheese, some lettuce, and some white wine, which I'm sure will go down very well at this moment.
Okay, so Graham, your camera now has frozen. Yeah. Unfortunately, you're not making a strange face. You're just blurred.
Okay.
It's very cool that you developed super speed in the course of the session. But we're actually at our mid-session break right now. Why don't we take if Graham needs to reset that, why don't we take our mid-session break right now? Then we'll come back and see what happens next. So for those listening at home, we'll be back in about 5 minutes. All right. Hey, everybody in chat. I hope everyone's having a great weekend. Thanks for joining us back in the Trojan Reach. Okay. It's unusual. I'm the first one back. All right. Let's see. All right, Archer, what's going on? Don, hope you're having a great weekend. All right. James, you're first back. So you remember I've been posting photos of that squirrel that has kind of become an unofficial pet here. So I got on a Merle. I got up to go outside, and I heard Anna going nuts at something, and I was like, okay, well, she must be like someone's delivering something or walking past the front, and she's at the back door going crazy, and I get over there, and fucking Merle is sitting on the, like, oops, let me get this. There we go. So this is the view directly outside of my back door. So I got there, and Merle, and I'm trying to like tap on the thing to get Merle to fuck out because I don't want him to get hurt. Like let him go, and then I'll let Anna out. This keeps looking at me and looking at me. Like, what's going on? I don't feed him or anything, so it's not like we're trying to encourage him to stay, but it took a couple of seconds for finally him to get totally unfazed by the dog that was going bananas at the door while he was fucking around out there. So, jeez. I was telling James,
friendlier than smart.
Yeah, I thought I would be late, the last one back, because I was dealing with Anna. My unofficial pet squirrel was right outside the back door. And Anna was going nuts, but I couldn't get him to go away before I could let Anna out. And then as soon as I let Anna out, she didn't want to come back in because she was convinced that, like, he's hiding around here somewhere. But it all came to good. All right, so then we are back. So, what Nellis is, especially with the promise of pay and the service, the treatment that Dr. Ilias has administered to the injured parties, I think Dr. Ilias, with a role that good, if you wish to quickly like address, do a quick like scan over and like your iron is low, so take these supplements and
Yeah. I'm happy to do like a full sort of bit of checkup.
Yeah. Star Trek 4 comes to mind. Doctor gave me a pill to grow a new kidney. So, what he's able to provide you is a way to gain secret access to here. There is not going to be anyone who is. I guess what? Hold on. There was one other thing Nellis was going to ask before we took our break. Nellis asks, as you guys he's describing things, he says, "You're friendly with them cat people."
I turned to Dr. Ilias. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yes, of course. They are extremely efficient and highly companionable colleagues.
You can see from his expression, he doesn't think much of them, but it may not be, for one in the region, may not be a surprise to hear that, but also just on the station, unhoused folks don't tend to get along with the cops terribly well. So, he probably doesn't think much of it, but he says, it's about that cat lady then. I don't know why he's suddenly British. It's about that cat lady, isn't it?
Do you know any more about this?
They had a lady with them. They also seemed angry, one at the other. Guy,
angry.
One, he was smoking a cigar.
Yes.
That would be noteworthy because it's, apart from Alonso and Mr. Tian, it's not it's an indulgent habit for sealed environments.
Yeah.
Right? And there's a big dark-skinned fellow. The dark-skinned guy didn't say much, but he seemed to back up why the smoking guy was angry at the others.
Yes. I don't think they had anticipated that this would be their place of congress as part of their operation.
It was them others that shot. And he gestures over at his two people. He yelled at them at that.
You know them others? What were they? Did you recognize them? Did you know any of them?
All from off station. Hired guns, though.
I recognize them. I recognize who they may be, should I say. Certainly from the previous excitement on the station.
They're the ones that were shooting before.
Maybe.
Well, that fellow with the cigar, he was yelling about them shooting. But before he shot our boys.
Yes, and it is the two that were angry that are the ones we really need to speak to.
The one with a cigar, he seemed to be the one in charge. But it didn't seem like the others, the ones that shot our boys, they didn't seem too happy to be taking orders from him.
Orders? No.
They wouldn't have done nothing with that big fella backing up the guy with the cigar.
That's useful to know. That's very useful to know.
You can kill them all as far as I'm concerned, but that cat lady, she's still with that big fella. Or was when they came in.
Did you have opportunity to note where they secured the cat lady?
No, once they started shooting our boys, we grabbed what we grabbed them and got out of there.
Of course. Very wise. Thank you for your help.
Well, you helped ours. You're just going to get yourself lost if you try and follow it. I'll take you through.
Sure. Thank you.
If you are going to turn any gestures at your guns on them, it won't hurt me none to see them hurt.
You need to make sure that you're not endangered yourself, though.
I'll be fine.
All right, well, in which case, come along.
All right.
I will leave you with Dr. Ilias, who is part of the team that will be going into your accommodation.
Dr. Ilias then immediately assaults him with a tongue depressor, or whatever the sci-fi equivalent.
They are.
Dr. Ilias, anything you wish to, while you're treating everybody, you certainly would have had an opportunity to chit-chat. I'm assuming everyone else has sort of come in on this area now as well, so you guys feel free, Anchor and Captain Gani, if you have anything you wish to contribute or ask about, feel free to do so.
I think Dr. Ellis would ask if they saw any wounds on the cat lady, Nana Hassi. She looked injured. And if she was conscious when they took her in.
She didn't look injured. There was a burn mark on her, but no laser hole. She was angry, but angry in that rich lady kind of way. she could give that big fella a run for his money for staring.
Do you overhear anything why they were shouting at each other?
One of the kids maybe, they said he shouldn't have shot. And the Nellis maybe looks over. Yeah, they said something about not... I think they shot someone they weren't supposed to shoot. And it got them angry. The guy with the cigar and the big fella.
Okay.
They got angry when they started shooting our boys, too. One of the older men who is among the number here, he says, they ain't professionals. They were scared.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's a danger.
Looks back and says, then. What, the cigar guy? He's like, nah. The troops. They're all scared.
Yeah. It's not good.
They did seem to want her alive, though. He yelled about that, too. Any other questions or things you guys want to discuss?
I think we just...
I think I can think of...
Then, what would you guys like to do next?
I think our plan is to get as close as possible to a go situation, and then when prepped and ready, when the team are ready to go, then Laris will seek to communicate.
Okay. So then, let's have... let's see here. We're not going to do it as a task chain, because that's just fishing for snake eyes. I've mentioned this before, too. I tell you, like, there's one... Yeah, one of the Skull and Shackles adventures, one of the first ones, has a sequence in it where it's just... It's a combat encounter that's dressed up as an opportunity to avoid it, and it's just... the entire party has to make 3 successful skill checks each in order to avoid this combat encounter, and there's no real way around it. And it's the most... I played through it. I wasn't running it. I played through it, and as a player, I was like, fuck this encounter. This is not actually a chance for me to roll skills. It's a chance for you to excuse a combat encounter because of dice rolls. So, yeah. The rest of the adventure was a lot of fun, though.
You can just save time. You failed some skill rolls.
I did fail. No, it wasn't. You know, it wasn't even me, because I was playing a character who I was playing a little rat folk who was, and I can't remember what my class was, but I was a very chatty character. So I had great skill checks, like for climbing or whatever it was, or acrobatics, so I was going to be fine, but I can't remember who it was who had the, like, medium armor penalty and all this other shit. So, like, we know what's happening. Like, why don't we just fight these fucking things now, rather than you falling in and then having to deal with them? As an aside, I had gotten, not in an argument, but I was making a push for the GM that I should get XP for killing somebody when I convinced the captain of our crew that someone else was trying to sell them out, so they keel hauled them, and they died in the course of doing it. I'm like, that counts as a kill for me. I got this. Okay, so let's instead, let's have someone roll a, like, tactics roll, and then someone roll stealth for us, and the tactics roll will skill chain into the stealth roll, and then that will be used for initiative for the bonus.
So I think Lawbert probably has the good tactics.
Tactics, yeah, maybe. So just do a quick check. Just load his sheet. Tactics, military.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay.
Is there like a small unit specialization?
It's basically military or space, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's a military. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So let's make that roll.
Okay.
See what we get.
Nice. That's plus one. Where's my referee screen? Let's justify this purchase here to check up the target number. There we go. Task chain plus 2 because you succeeded by 1 with an effective 1. All right, so then go ahead. Who would like to make the roll for stealth for us with a plus 2?
I have a plus 2 to begin with. Does anyone have better?
Nice. That's good.
Go for it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it'll be plus 4.
And remember, don't put the plus sign in. Otherwise,
We all are lost in
you're exposed to the vacuum of space.
9 also.
Nice. That's good enough.
Nice.
Okay, so it'll be plus 2 to everyone's initiative. And you guys are unknown. I can't remember how surprise works in this game, but let's cross that gangplank when we need to. So tell us how you guys are coordinating. There is only the one entrance into here. It will be like a back room. The whole purpose of these secret passages is to kind of get in, get out, places where it would be unobtrusive. So it will be kind of a back room where you could prepare for a moment, assuming no one's in there. You could also, I know we're not playing D&D, but you could listen at the door.
Yeah.
Very good idea.
Yeah. We should get the Darren to do that. They've got a good chance of listening at doors.
I got a 1 in 3 chance.
That's it on a D6. Old school.
Ultima 1 also has a broad spectrum auditory sensor.
All right.
Don't you have your bioscanner, Dr. Ilias?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I have the neural activity scanner.
Yeah. So you can get numbers, dispositions.
And you already calibrated it
To detect Alahasi.
Yes.
Exactly.
Or
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, I do detect Aslan. I'm not sure I could calibrate
Yeah.
it
I guess we
specifically.
could have asked him if there are other Aslan with these people, but
But it only has a range of 500 meters, so we have to be fairly close to.
500 meters is still pretty good in a
That's a
space
long
station.
way.
Yeah, that's half a
a
kilometer.
long way in the dungeon.
Yeah.
I guess I will happily scan for.
Sure. Why don't we do that then too? Do you want to use? So I could see the skill chain bonus from stealth applying to that in the sense that you stealthily put yourself in a position to get the best possible broad spectrum scan. Whew, tricky. Or you could just save that for initiative and roll your scan flat. What do you think?
I will save it because my calibration already gives me a +3 bonus to use it. So I think I'll save the initiative bonus. Yeah.
Okay. We did mention that it makes us sound like an MRI machine, right?
Yes.
No. Choke, 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 choke. Fantastic. So you will precisely be able to position where people are and be able to determine what your initial approach will be. The first room you will access will have nobody in it, so you would have a staging area once you get out of the secret room. That room, you can't tell whether or not it's locked or not, but I think someone could probably try and pick that lock if it is locked. And the rest of the, the rest of them are... Elahasi seems to be with a group of 5 of the people. There seems to be 4 near the entrance, and then the others are sort of scattered across 2 other rooms. So that would be 8 that are scattered across 2 rooms, sort of moving back and forth. There are 4 near the kind of entrance, and then there is the Elahasi and 5 others. So, sounds like everyone is in position. all of our crew members or travelers, I guess, are in the secret entrance right now.
Mm-hmm.
What do you wish to do next?
Switch to negotiation.
Is Laris in the secret corridor too? Is he holding back too?
I think he's holding back. I think he'll be in a position. He's holding back. So,
why are you whispering? If he was hiding himself in the corridor.
I see.
I'm gonna say, we've got access to your. No. So then Ultimate One is happy to translate to like override that whenever you're ready and have you contact them however you wish.
Okay. Well, make the call if you can.
Okay.
Ultimate One.
Oh, what is he? What are we gonna do? He's gonna try diplomatic entry, and if not, then
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
As long as they don't know where we're coming from.
So there is a brief kind of pause as the thing is being notified. I like the idea. So like he's got the ringtone of that like Brian Eno Windows sound. so he picks up the activates his comm unit. Well, I can't say as I was expecting a call on this. Who's this then?
Oh, Mr. Tian. How good, given the station clock time, a very good morning to you, and I hope it will be a productive one.
Well, and a good morning to you too, my fine stranger. You clearly know my name, but I can't say as I know yours. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking to?
And I hope it will prove to be a pleasure. My name is Laris Zathu. I'm with
Lewis, you're that Darian. You're the friend with the cats, ain't you?
Well, you are very, very well informed. I was told that you're well informed, and you've proven to be so.
Well, that's very kind. But I expect you ain't calling to flatter me.
No, but I am glad I'm speaking to you, and not your ragtag group of mercenaries. I think I probably will get a little bit more sense out of yourself.
Perhaps I should clarify one thing right off the bat. They certainly aren't my mercenaries.
Well, no, and that may well be for the best, I imagine.
Oh, indeed. If you's Coleman, like I assume you's Coleman, about your friends. If it was my say, we wouldn't have had anybody out there.
No.
Bloodshed thus far is not something I wanted, no endorsed.
Nobody wants bloodshed in this situation.
Indeed.
I completely concur. And as such, I'm here to negotiate with you for a peaceful resolution of this situation, to understand your situation and see if we can come to, let's say, an accord and an agreement.
And who are you speaking on behalf of? The rest of a lot, or?
I have the authority to speak on behalf of the clan, her clan.
Her clan? With that one dead, I would have thought she'd all been thrown out now.
I also need to ensure that you are operating with the correct information.
And what information might that be, Mr.
Depends what you're
Zafu?
operating under. Depends entirely what you think you're operating under, which of course I do not know, because we've all found it incredibly perplexing that someone of your experience has got involved in this particular mission, in this particular way, and in the circumstances in which they really are.
I must say, if I think things might have gone well for that Tila Toril, would that we found him before he found his way back to Tayok.
Yes. Yes, but of course he is now. He of course is now still very much operating and interested.
Well, now that's a bit of.
Yes, isn't it? Like I say, we need to ensure that we're operating with the right information.
Are you saying that Tila Toril did not die on Tayok?
No, he did not. Far from it. He is now operating. And obviously has I'm sure, as you may appreciate, Mr. Tian, a an active interest in your current operation, as has his associates. Let us continue to talk, though.
You can't hear it, obviously, but you can almost feel the cigar uncomfortably shift from one side of his mouth to the other one.
Hear the cogs going click, 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 click,
Yeah.
click, 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 click.
Now this, and you can hear he gets up, and you can hear the sound of him walking. Dr. Ilias, you can see that one person is walking away from the rest of the crowd into another thing. And leaving 4 humans with Erihase. Now, I've seen...
I would also inform you, Mr. Tian, just to make sure that you are fully briefed and understand the briefing that you are currently operating to, that let's just say that other socio-political circumstances that surrounded Tila Tora have also shifted.
I suppose, being the friendly fella you are, you're willing to tell me what the lay of the land is now, right?
Well, I can tell you that Tila Tora is no longer under suspicion, is fully alive, and is operating. As such, this changes the nature of your operation significantly. It may well also be worth knowing that certain clans, and I will mention the Iowa clan, are also now under suspicion from the Hirates for acting in bad faith and acting, well, as you would appreciate, in Aslan terms, dishonorably. As such, as I say, the situation and the background to your operation has significantly changed.
Without admitting any change in our operating circumstances, if indeed the land has shifted and the view is not what we anticipated, and perhaps we were operating under incorrect or false information, I take it that since we're not having a conversation with the cats, you're calling with a proposal.
It is the release of Erihase, unharmed. And should that happen, I could perhaps arrange a negotiated position for you to be able to exit the station. I have to tell you, though, our options and my options are quite limited. Were you not to undertake terms with me, as I'm sure you will appreciate, your tactical position is a little, well, shall we use the word precarious? And, well, let's put it this way. The mercenaries that you have at your disposal are not ones that I would particularly rely on. As such,
on
the cards
that,
are not...
Mr. Zafu, I can most assuredly agree with you.
Indeed. They're also, given their nature, likely to be, as I'm sure you have already appreciated, in moments of stress, which you are now currently under, may operate unpredictably. This would be unfortunate. And indeed, any actions that they may undertake, I'm afraid we would not be able to disassociate from yourselves.
If you know me, I take it you know I would have to make any decisions with me partner.
Of course. Of course. I'm sure Mr. Gruxon will have views.
Oh, indeed. We find ourselves at item on most things. How long we've got?
Without wishing to make things, yes, of course, without wishing to make things really too complicated. And I don't want things to be complicated. I want things to be very, very simple. You've got 10 minutes.
Understood. And if I was to walk out of here with Mr. Gruxon, leaving our cat lady with these other Muppets,
That's not the arrangement that I would like to see. So the arrangement will be that you will deliver Elahasi to us, because, Mr. Tian, I can say comprehensively, you can be relied on. Your mercenaries, however, cannot be relied on to do anything. You deliver her, we get you out.
I see.
The rest I don't care about.
Your insertion people, I assume they're at the ready?
You have 9 minutes.
You misunderstand me, Mrs. Afu. This is not a matter of simply walking her out. You've got the measure of our colleagues. And quite frankly, it will not cause me to shed a tear if none of them breathes another breath after this day.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Gruxon and I could deal with the folks. What we've
sure
got immediate vicinity. There are, however, another 10. I take it your associates might handle them.
Agreed.
Well, then, how are we going to work this then?
Tell us which zone you will do your deals, and we'll deal in the other zones. Never the twain shall meet if we can manage it. Once that's complete, you will signal to me where Elahasi is.
Oh, I guarantee you, Mr. Zafu, we haven't met before, so perhaps you haven't got a judge of me. Nor does it seem that my sterling professional reputation has reached you either.
It has
But
not.
I can guarantee you, sir, if we take the cat lady into our service, Mr. Gruxon and I will ensure no harm will befall her.
That is the basis of our agreement and the terms that we are about to make.
Then, you're familiar with the layout, or you've got eyes on you, I trust.
Yes.
Me and Mr. Gruxon will keep her safe at the back, away from the rest.
Understood.
Well, now we haven't talked about the matter of compensation.
Oh, I'm sure your employers will have will be able to compensate you for exposing you to such a poor tactical position based on inaccurate information.
Oh, Mr. Zafu, revenge is such an unprofitable business. Instead, if Tila Toro is alive, and we's keeping his friend safe, I take it from the reason we was to take her, she has some value to him. Oh, we're only looking for a little taste for keeping her safe in this difficult circumstance.
How much?
He'll give you, some quote for... Yeah.
Okay.
And it's going to be, basically, he's asking for, docking fees, and that's it.
Yeah,
whatever
fine.
the equivalent would be.
It's fine. I will agree to that. I'll write that check.
I think we have an accord, then.
Excellent.
Will we need you to send a message, or will you take it that when the shooting starts, your friends can help?
I think that would be sufficient.
Allow me to congress with Mr. Gruxon, and I will send a single transmission back in agreement.
Understood. Thank you. In which case, on that signal, things will happen.
Agreed. A pleasure doing business with you, Mr. Zafu.
And with you, Mr. Tian. I hope you have a profitable future.
The skies are looking brighter by the moment. And he disconnects.
Yep.
So then,
I'll relay
Laris,
that to the team.
Yeah, how will you convey that to everyone?
I'll convey that just to say I've done a deal, which seemed to me a good accord. The two associates that you know, Mr. Tian and Gruxon, will keep hold of Elias and keep her safe on the basis that for a small fee they will be allowed to go. They were operating under incomplete information and operating on a law level 0 world, which frankly has got no jurisdiction on any of this. However, they will keep her to one side and to the rear of operations. The rest of the mercenaries are, I'm afraid, fair game and will have to be taken out, or at least persuaded to surrender. On the basis that happens, that's what we're doing. So we're not targeting Tian and Gruxon directly. Is that understood?
Oh, shit.
I know.
So, Dr. Ilias, are you kind of maintaining an active scan here to see where everyone has gone?
If possible, yeah. Let's see if they are true to their word.
They are true to their word, and what you see is they go back, so there are 5 human life signs and then 1 Aslan life sign. They then seem to call in one other from the other room, one other human into that room, and that's when you get the message, Laris, that they acquiesce to or agree to your terms.
I'm afraid it's a go now. Over to you. Good luck. Then,
are you guys doing as he... I guess, what is everyone's role going to be here for this? I'm assuming that Dane is going to be one of the first ones in, if not the first one in.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, Anchor probably covering him.
Yep.
Gas rifle.
Okay.
Right.
Because Captain Ghani's got the heavy.
Oh,
heavy
yeah.
No, my gun's not actually as powerful as your Gauss rifles.
Oh, okay.
It's good inside the ship because it doesn't blow holes in the ship.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we?
It works.
Are we worried about that here? I mean, if Gauss rifles start penetrating hull.
Are we actually on the periphery of the hull, or I don't think we were. Are we actually on the edge of the station?
Then we backseat up.
You're close enough for it to potentially be a concern, and with the number of malfunctions that are in here, then it could be a place where it blows a hole and the auto, shutdown systems and whatnot may not work properly.
I think respirators then, and make sure we've got.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's go.
I mean, it's not as fast as explosive decompression is not as fast as like Outland. So
no, that
more like
Outland.
In what do you call it? The scene from first season of Expanse, where they blow the holes through in their whatever the holding facility. Yeah. That's
Expanse is really good about that.
Yeah. Well, and I love the fucking metal backed what do you call it? Clipboards or books that you use to plug the hole for.
I think. Yeah, Romulus did a great job of that. I'm sure people were annoyed. I'm sure there's some comments on whatever social media. Oh, how come the sound cut out during when this happened, and the sound cut out when this happened? That's great. Perfect. I loved it.
Nice. Yeah, I still haven't seen it yet.
It's good. It's good. I like it.
Nice. Okay, so then, guys, I think. Oh, sorry, I didn't get an answer. Dr. Ilias, what are you doing while this is all going on?
I think he will go in after the 3. He'll have to leave the NAS behind because it's a quite a heavy backpack type setup.
Yeah.
But he'll be there in case Alahasi gets injured or someone else gets injured. But he's hoping that with these 3 experienced warriors in front of him.
Okay. Is there any value in you still tracking where everyone is? Dane would think about that because you would, as part of the squad, you would always have that squad level feed for where everyone is and where your adversaries are if you're able to actively track. I'm using video game logic here, but I don't think it's far off.
Yeah, okay. That'd be quite useful.
Yeah, I think it'd be.
Yeah, I could say in this initial chamber, and
Yeah.
And Captain
Do you need
Gani?
a bigger gun?
I do have a gun with me.
You need. I have a Gauss pistol, extra Gauss pistol. If you.
I have my own.
Okay, great.
They're like using it, but
Sure.
And Captain Gani, when are you going in?
I've only got cloth armor, so I'll be wearing that. Cloth armor and carrying my Gauss pistol and mag rail rifle.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
A mag rail put. Oh, won't put it.
Yeah.
He said. Okay.
I think here's what you see then, Dr. Ilias, is you guys hear gunshots going off first. And what seems to happen is two of the humans move in the direction with the one of them has the Aslan with them. Three of the other humans seem to suddenly stop moving and their life signs, plummet. Yeah. But then one of the other humans is taken with them. So they have grabbed one human and one other person, and you rolled well enough to know if you're tracking, it seems like it's the person that was brought in from the other room. So they have pulled back. You guys are able to go in. I think what we'll do is, why doesn't everyone give us you overwhelmingly outarm and have tactically outmaneuver these folks? Let's just make a single attack roll, and we'll just narrate how this stuff plays through. At some point, they will give the opportunity to try and surrender, but if you guys are pushing forward and shooting and not demanding a surrender, absent Snake Eyes, I think you guys will be taking these folks out. So go ahead and make a single attack roll. You're going to get plus 2 from your stealth roll.
Okay.
Well, I've got, okay.
Okay.
Oh, how does the auto? I hit it, set it for burst. I don't know if it does it multiple times, but I can just roll. I can help.
Yeah, the same.
Narrating.
The same. Sorry, it's down as Laris Sathu. That's only because I've named myself like that. It's actually Dane.
Oh, no problem. I figured as much.
It's Dane's sheet. It's just
yeah. And then Captain, I think you were the last one going in there.
I will. So sorry, there's no modifier or
plus 2.
Plus 2.
So we're going to put the plus sign in.
Sorry. Yep. 2. Come on, keyboard, work. I will do it with that. We'll have to add it manually. My caps have disconnected my keyboard.
Oh man!
Oh wow!
Okay.
That's actually 27 damage.
All right. So then the only one that has the concern. So the mag rail is a concern for puncturing. Oh, it's auto 6, not AP 6. The
so
Gauss rifle is the only one that is going to blow through things. So, Anchor, I think, as a longtime member of the Navy, I think you probably, in the same way, there's a scene in the second or third season of The Wire where they joke about cops always knowing where they are, right? Of where you standing, where you standing. I'm in the northwest, facing northwest in whatever quality. I think that, Anchor, you likely also know what is interior of the ship. You're mindful of where the bulkhead is for any boarding action. Dane likely the same kind of thinking, so that if you are shooting with something that has penetrating quality, you're shooting away from the edge of the hull.
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you tell us what it looks like as you take any surrenders, or because I think they're so surprised by this, they're gonna have weapons up when you go into these rooms.
So weapons ready at the ready, or weapons?
They've got weapons. So the ones that are immediately there will have heard Mr. Tian and Mr. Grookson starting to shoot people, so they would have got weapons ready. When you guys are in there, you are easily able to take all of them out. And then the only 2 remaining ones would be in that first, there would be the 2 at the door, or 2 keeping watch. One of them probably remains on watch. The other one goes to investigate. So you, at best, have 2 that might surrender. Do you make any effort to try and get them to surrender, or do you take them out?
I think we could have Ultima 1 or Laris patch through, blast out, however, through communications to surrender. Give him a chance.
There would be no comms units here. You could remember
comms.
This part of the station is completely fucked up, right? So
So I think on the polycarbon helmet that Dane has, following Anchor's suggestion, he's probably got some sort of voice synthesizer on it, which makes him sound like particularly even more evil and scary than he already is. And he'll say something along the lines of, "Surrender now or die."
Anchor can punctuate that with bark or growls.
Yeah. So why don't you roll and let's see here. Give us a persuade check, Dane, with a boon, and we'll give you the stealth bonus as well. So a boon and +2.
Oh, sadly I don't have the persuade.
After we shoot up for an initial volley, of course.
Yeah, there isn't a intimidate skill, right? Like there's not a...
It's got to be
I
persuade.
think there is. It's got to be persuade, isn't it? I think.
Unless some games decided to call it something different, like...
Yeah, persuade sounds right. Let me just click on persuade and what the hell? Got a boon on it. You never know.
You got a boon and +2.
So where is it? Oh, persuade. There it is. Okay, I've got it now. It's not trained, which is correct. So I'm at base -3, which is correct. Put the modifier of 2 in. It's rolling on a boon. I think that's everything. Let's go. Okay.
Nice. As soon as you do so, the remaining 2 mercenaries surrender. The one drops his gun immediately and calls back to the other one, "Put it down! Eric, put it down!" And they
on the
both...
floor.
So, with the shooting done, Dr. Ilias, you can see that Mr. Tian, Mr. Gruxon, Elihase, and whoever is in the other room, whatever other human is in the other room, they're still positioned in there. Door locked, door closed.
Yeah. Okay.
And we're expecting like a reinforcement? Because you said there was other people potentially coming, or is that it?
That's it. You guys have burst in. There was about...
Okay.
What did I say? There was 5 in the initial room, including Tian and Gruxon. 2 were brought out of the other room, leaving 8. 2 at the door, 6 inside. The 6 are dead. 2 surrendered. Oh no, yeah, 2 surrendered, leaving Tian, Gruxon, some other human, and Elihase.
Okay. I guess Laris can maybe contact. Say it's done.
It's done. Yes, I've just piped through to you a standard contract. It is in brief form. I have managed to abbreviate it, given the speed of the situation.
So if you call in, I think. So Mr. Tian answers the phone. Hello, Mr. Zafu.
Good. Hello. Well, that was brief and very successful. Thank you very much for your cooperation.
Brief and with upstanding is how I prefer all of my violence to be delivered.
I can concur with that. All I need now is your Imperial bank credit details.
Hold on. I think someone wishes to say hi to you. And you can then hear a woman's voice come on. Laris, is that... And it's Elihase. Laris, is that you?
Elihase, it is. It is Laris Zathu. It's a pleasure to hear that you are well and alive.
Who's shooting outside? These...
It is the associates that you've encountered before, of course.
The... Ultima One's friends?
Yes.
Well... I am unharmed, and they...
Good.
They have taken someone with them as well.
Of course.
You can hear clearly he was holding the phone up. That's right, Mr. Zafu. Never let it be said we leave customers' expectations less unexceeded.
Of course, you must do what you must do.
I have your Arslan lady safe, and we have for her the fellow that shot her friend.
Very good.
Can you confirm that, lady? And she says, it is him.
Very well.
You see, more than what you bargained for.
Very good.
Then-
And all within the terms that we agreed. You are indeed an excellent businessman.
If you could spread that reputation, sir, it would be appreciated. I'm going to go say hi to your friends, and we'll leave it to you to transfer those funds so as we can make our departure.
Of course, if you submit your details, I'll have that arranged.
Submit your invoices and your receipts. Make sure that they're itemized and dated. So the I think he turns the comm off, and then this is when the rest of the crew could access the door. And what you find, Mr. Grookson has one of the another one of the mercenaries in what can be basically binder cuffs and on his knees. And when you walk in, he will wait until he sees Dr. Ilias, because I think he is the one who he's seen before. And when he does see Dr. Ilias again, he says, "So, Doctor,
Mr. Tian."
now I did not expect to see you or any of you here.
Then we are in agreement.
You
We move fast.
certainly did not tarry on Taryok.
Places to be, people to see. I had hoped our path would never cross again, but here we are.
Well, strange times these. Are you the ones that worked with that Darien fellow?
We are friends in many places.
Indeed. Aslan Space, Darians. I'm beginning to suspect you're forming some sort of intergalactic alliance here. Well, we informed your friend. This one here, and he gestures to the guy on the grounds, he's the one that shot that lady. We would never have wanted that to happen. We apologize for any inconvenience in our association with this bunch of fools. But, as I explained to your friend, we was operating under bad advice. I trust that you will communicate to Tiva Toru. It was nothing personal.
And be so inclined as to tell us who gave you that bad advice?
He looks at Mr. Grookson, and Mr. Grookson nods. He says, "It's that fellow on Sync. He spent a pretty penny both on us and on these. Seems he was open to, I think, negotiate a better place with that rival clan with this lady, or so's he told us. Now it seems he's just got sour grapes."
They're bad for your digestion.
Oh, well said, Dr. Ilias. Then, can we turn these folks over to you? Well,
Yes, certainly.
Mr. Grookson? Mr. Grookson locks eyes with Dane once again and will hold eye contact for as long as he can.
That's fine.
Now, Mr. Grookson, we ain't no any call for that. Thank you all. We'll see you again. He turns. Lady, to Elihase, no hard feelings. And she fixes him a look that would match the glare from either Dane or Mr. Grookson. And the two of them will take their leave of you.
It was only business.
Take these other two guys into custody too. Also, probably
Okay.
handcuff them or whatever.
Yeah, if you
Bind
want, he'll Mr. Grookson will give you 2 more sets of binder cuffs. You've got all 3 in well in custody. And Elihase says, "Well, it's certainly a surprise to see you all. Thank you. Again. she's looking around the room. Is Tila Toro with you?
Dane's helm will sort of rise up and he'll look at her and say, I think it's safe to say he's quite impatient to see you.
There's whatever the equivalent of the Aslan smile is. Her tail is swishing quite furiously. And so we can probably drop out of, unless there's anything you guys wish to roleplay through in this scene, we can probably drop out of this and just get into...
Well, there's no authority on, so what do we do with these mercenaries? I guess there's no authority on...
The Aslan?
Yeah, hand him over to the clan.
I think so.
Elihase will be happy to do so. There is security on the station. It also happens to be run by the Aslan, and the one who is who killed her handmaiden. I think the doctor.
I did some remote consulting on her, on stabilizing her.
Oh, okay. Dr. Gani, or not Dr. Gani, Captain Gani, you have your mag rail rifle in your hands, right? Mm-hmm. So she will walk over and draw your pistol from your hip at your leave. She will walk over and execute this guy, unless anyone wishes to stop her. Not all three. The one who shot her handmaiden or her friend.
Yeah, unless Dr. Ilya says she's still alive, but Anchor's not going to say anything.
She is still alive.
I think that Elias would be inclined to stop her, but I think he's going to realize too late what she's about to do because it's just not in his frame of reference.
Yeah,
he's handcuffed, he's surrendered. So he'll realize too late what she's about to do.
And likely blows a hole through the next wall as well. She returns the weapon to Captain Gani. The other two are absolutely subservient. What would you like to do with those two?
Well, still turning him over to the clan, right? I mean...
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we ask him who they, are they part of some... How would they hire? Are they part of some mercenary outfit? Are they just some randos that... Mr. Tian picked up?
If you ask about them, these are sort of the leftover. A joke I think I've made on the channel before, but what do you call the guy who graduates at the bottom of his med school class? Doctor.
He's still a doctor, yeah.
Yeah. Same thing too. It's the guy who barely scrapes through boot camp and manages to serve. He's still a fucking mercenary. He's just a terrible mercenary, and that's what these guys are. These are the sort of cut rate things. If you press them, and I think that after that display of ruthlessness, they certainly will be happy to spill. And with Dane and Anchor's show of force earlier, it's again, what's his name? The fella on Sync.
Yep.
He apparently has blown through a great deal of money to hire both the rent investigators, who were not cheap, and then whatever mercenaries he could afford. He did not seem to be able to hire the best and brightest beyond the rent investigators, and even they didn't do their jobs properly, and then also fell for didn't do their due diligence before falling for him. So, do you guys wish to do anything to inhibit the departure of Mr. Tian and Mr. Grookson? We're going to let them leave whenever they're ready.
I think if their rates are good, then they could be a really good hire in the future.
I say keep them as friends, but I mean it's not really up to us. It's up to the clan to decide if this is a good accommodation or not.
I think Laris will have to confess to Elihase the deal that he brokered, and that as events have transpired, that arrangement was what secured and enabled us to proceed with the operation so successfully.
I think her feeling is that given the context of what they said and what they did, she doesn't think much of Mr. Tian and Mr. Grixon. There is certainly a way of, like, they're just trying to, you know, not die when it was clear that was potentially going to be the case. She also recognizes that, I should really just look up his name instead of keep calling what's his name, the dude on Sync. She also recognizes that he betrayed or he deceived them as well. And they, in contrast with the mercenaries, they were the ones who, they were not happy with the way that played out. It was, you know, imagine an entire mercenary unit staffed of Sean Bean's character from Ronin. That is effectively what this mercenary crew is. So they were deceived. She's not, and they're human, so they get a little bit of a buy. This would be, if they were Aslan, then there would be maybe more of a feeling that a war of assassins should have been declared or something like that. But, like, humans are absolutely untrustworthy anyway, so, you know, why would you expect anything more from them?
And Elahasi, I would expect, says Dane, that we should relay the foundations of this particular operation to Tila Toro, and subsequently onward into the hierarchy and the clan structure, so that it is understood what happened here and under whose authority this operation had to be undertaken.
I think with their cooperation, if you ask of them, Tian and Grixon will share all correspondence with him. If a client, like, obviously client confidentiality is an important thing, but making an example of clients who lie to you is equally important for your job, for, you know, maintaining a career as a bounty hunter. So they will share all of that for further comedy among them, and they need to operate in the Trojan Reach. They can't, you know, do so if they're bedeviled by vengeance-seeking Aslan.
Yeah.
So this will be a final, like, however disgraced that this person was before, it's even further, when you don't think you can fall any further, to further try to, you know, in a petulant way, kidnap the sweetie of your successful foe. He's not going to have anywhere to go, you know. So, which means that there is likely going to be an opening for an espionage, you know, for an espionage agent for his clan. It's not Laiawaha. It's can't remember what his clan's name is offhand.
Yeah,
that's true, actually.
Yeah, I mean, he's like stuck on Sync. He wanted to leave Sync, and now he's there exiled forever, I guess.
Well,
I'll turn to Dr. Ilias and say, and I can think of no better person than the person right next to me. What,
because Tila Toro still is in Ihate, and all his supporters will be Ihate too, so they, you know, wouldn't necessarily be the ones to fill that role. But it does mean that there's a gap. This is one of the things about the machinations of this. There was no downside to, you know, clan Awayo, is that whatever the rival clan was, because even at worst case scenario, yeah, they don't get a chance to go to war with them, but they've cost their clan a valuable intelligence asset. So, and if he's got any sense of sensibility or sense of self-preservation, there's no fucking way that dude's still on Sync. He's gone somewhere else.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because if he has the means to do it, hiring rent investigators and mercenaries, even shitty ones, is not cheap.
Yeah.
But in the aftermath of that, so I guess getting back, are you then otherwise letting Tian and Grixon go without interference?
I'm fine with it. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, if we keep them relatively friendly, then we could perhaps use them. Or if we run into them again, you know, it doesn't have to always end in. You know.
They seem reasonable enough.
Yeah. It's fine. I would let him go.
Dr. Ilias, Mr. Tian did offer to share photos of some of the
Thank you. I'm good. Yeah.
No. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Then what do you guys wish to do? It was only you guys got ahead, I believe, like 16 hours or even less than that. It was a couple of hours ahead of the Rift Wanderer, so it'll be a very emotional reunion between Tilatoril and Elihase.
Nice.
This seems
Dr.
like
Elias will want to go and check on Elihase's friend who got shot.
Oh yeah. Why don't we chew up some more of that luck? Why don't you give us another medic roll, please?
We also let them know that the people who are living here, it's cleared.
Incredible.
Nice.
So, yeah, Dr. Elias, you are going to be able to. She's going to do just fine. There isn't even going to be any scarring or any residual, injuries.
Best doctor in the sector.
Heck yeah. Certainly making a name for himself all over the station. It'd be a shame for anyone aligned with Judico to find out. Judico! There you are.
Yeah, we need a powerful backer.
So...
Like a king?
Emperor in exile as well.
Emperor in exile.
Apologies,
wow.
Yes.
What... So then I guess for the immediate things, I guess you now have an opportunity to meet Laris. They will insist on you being invited to celebrate both Tilatoril's return, Elihase's successful rescue, the recovery of the injured Aslan woman, the joining of Dane Laverick with the clan, and the departure of Dane Laverick from the crew, the Rift Wanderer.
Mm-hmm. I'm honoured to be invited. It was a most exhilarating operation, and I felt, above all, I learned a great deal, which is always the most important thing. Mm. Do you have any positions at all that you need on the ship?
I checked Space Workopolis, and I saw that there was a posting for...
How are you with ship's weapons?
Oh, I'm glad that you asked that.
It has just come up.
Please let me tell you. I have been in 23 Starship battles, all of them benefiting from being simulated. The scenario data, which I have in a pre-populated model here, demonstrates a positive number of standard deviations from the mean in a normally distributed cohort, placing my results with high confidence in the top 15% of registered gunners. I can demonstrate this by running the model for you and playback of the simulations, one of which was the Thelom Gor Molino, as we say in our language, and although I did not survive that encounter, neither did my opponent, which was both unusual and most satisfying.
Anchor, get this fool off my ship.
What's your equivalent out here in the sticks of your traveler rating?
1.
It's better than none.
To repay you for what you have done for us, we would obviously be delighted to give you passage.
Yeah.
That'll be wonderful, and I'm sure I'll make myself useful.
Yeah, it'd be working passage. I don't know. I'm not an owner, so I shouldn't say anything.
So what do you guys intend on doing next? You've successfully returned. One of the things that over the course of the celebrations for your for the return and whatnot to the departure of Dane, and then Laris joining the crew, or at least joining the passage. There's are you looking for work right now, or are you gonna? I guess the one thing had anyone been planning for the job after the Borderland Run?
Not a long. I don't know if we do a long term, but we could get the regular trade stuff, going and see what's the best, which direction is the best way to be trading, right?
Yeah,
for finding stuff here and I wouldn't mind going back to Drinax. It's all very hazy for me. Says Anka. I don't remember a lot.
Yeah, Carl, were you there at that session, or
I missed the
princess
session.
Okay. Let me just hit. I was going to reconnect quickly here. I lost James's camera. Oh no,
Yeah.
I got everybody. Okay. So, out of character, what if you guys wish to do any trading or whatnot? What I would suggest is that I'll post in the Discord some rumors for you guys to talk over, and then we can.
Oh, that's a good idea. Great idea.
Yeah. Although I guess, do you want to do that, or I mean, we've been doing everything at the table, and that's been apart from purchases and whatnot. And even that we've kind of been doing at the table too. You want to do that just at the start of next session? We'll set things up for what things we'll talk.
Look for job boards. So right now we'd be looking for job boards, looking for posting, looking for trade goods. That's kind of where we'll spend our time as we wait for the ship. And I'm sure we definitely probably need maintenance. I'm sure that's up.
Yeah, you've had 3 jump. Did you do maintenance on Tyok?
I say, Mr. Zathu, are you good at bookkeeping?
Yes.
I was incredible at that.
I have admin too.
Oh,
Perfect.
there you go.
Excellent.
So
Then,
you've got VBA then?
I can take over the spreadsheet. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you've been doing a great job, so I hand it over.
is there anything else you guys wish to do or talk about or role play through before we call it a session? We're a couple minutes early here, but
I think that was good.
Yeah.
One last smooth operation.
Before things go to shit,
we'll get over himself and make sure he toast with Dane after his acceptance into the
Yeah.
So we got about 10 minutes. Why don't we talk about do any of the characters have anything in particular that they're interested in pursuing from a personal goal? Now that they've gone through this, is there further, Tila Toro is not exactly a lucrative or wealthy patron at this point, but is there, are they inclined to assist? I imagine Captain Gani may have an issue with assisting in Aslan Ihate in whatever goals he may be pursuing. I think that Captain Gani, you were also surreptitiously keeping track of the fleets at Tyok, weren't you? Oh, you're muted, James. So we can.
My bad. No, indeed.
Toast them all.
That was what we did last time. I was indeed taking notes.
Okay, so then perhaps there is a contact you may be able to push that information to. Something may come from that.
Yep.
Okay.
So,
yeah, maybe. So I feel we've been working for the. I don't know. I feel my stripes coming to the top of my arm, Captain Gunner. We've been doing all this work for these Aslan. Maybe we should do some Imperial work.
absolutely. It's time for us to find an Imperial Navy vessel, or at least an X-boat, to get our materials back.
Dr. Elias? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Graham.
No, it's all right. I was just going to say, although Laris is in no position to sort of put forward the views that he wants, he's quite happy to work passage and so on. But if he does get opportunity, he's quite interested in some of the fascinating archaeological sites that dot this sector of space. Also sort of near archaeology, including those of the Sindalian Empire. That and anything around the sort of ancients, the forerunners, in FGU terms, that certainly are around, and any opportunities to understand that more would be of interest to him. That might be something that comes along as a side hustle, as it were, as we undertake whatever activities the crew decide they want to do. Yeah,
it's also worth. We started our campaign with you guys having a bit of downtime on Spurl.
True.
Is this an opportunity? You're celebrating with the return of this and whatnot. Is there somewhere you wish to go to relax?
Is there a world to relax other than Sink looked really nice, but I don't know if we want to go back there.
There are definitely some places in the in the Trojan Reach that would accommodate that kind of thing.
I guess I was going to also say, like, we're called the Rift Wanderer. We need to maybe drift towards the Rift. I don't know. Explore some crazy things in uncharted space. Well, stuff between the rifts, between stars in the Rift.
Dr. Ilias and Captain Gani, when you purchased the ship together, was it strictly as a commercial endeavor, just try and make some money, or was there some broader goal beyond just keeping the thing keeping the thing in the sky?
It was quite. Yeah, it was a convenience at first, but I think this whole traveling around, discovering new places. I think Dr. has probably learned more from interacting with all of these different cultures and planets than from just being in the lab and doing the same sort of thing over and over again. So he's quite keen to keep up the traveling. He would also ask Ultima One if Ultima One is going to come with us or stay here with the Aslan on World, or what his plans are.
Ultima One is with due respect to Tila Toril and his folk, Ultima One has spent a great deal of time in the Hyrite, and while the choice of going deeper into the Hyrite may be a good way to hide from Judiko, where did I leave that robot? It's probably best that while the Aslan are an alien species, they may come to the same conclusion that Judiko did, which was we should really study this robot and find out what it can, what we can learn from it, likely through dissection. His best place to hide for now is with you. And he appreciates being on the crew. If you'll still have him, he will happily continue to travel with you.
Yeah.
Exposition
Absolutely.
Robot.
Yes.
And Captain Gani, you were going to say too, what was your reason was it simply commerce as well, or just to have a ship of your own?
Yeah, just to have a ship of their own and work on the frontier as I had as a scout.
Okay.
As you say, could help out the Navy, why not?
Okay. And Anchor, anything specifically you wish to pursue? Apart from
these Aslan conspiracies are way too convoluted. I want to get back into more maybe human space. They're a lot more, they don't lie as well, so it's more interesting.
Okay.
But, wherever the stars take us, it's kind of got that philosophy.
Do any of the characters have a sense of where they wish to end, where they wish to settle? With Dane settling down here, has anyone else given a thought to that, or is the intent for all the crew members to travel until they cannot travel any longer?
Yeah, Anchor's a wanderer, I think,
Yeah, I think at the moment Dr. Elias hasn't thought that far ahead, but possibly in the back of his mind he has an idea of setting up his own clinic or sort of research institute.
Okay.
But that can wait.
Laris, you're obviously a little bit on the run as well. Oh, now you're muted. Demo.
Yes, keep moving. I would say keep moving.
And Captain Gani, where do you see yourself ending up?
Getting out of Aslan space and staying out.
But no destination? So that doesn't answer my...
I would pick I like the high-tech stuff, so I would be thinking of Drinax as a...
So maybe I wasn't clear in my question. Where does he see himself ending up eventually, in the same way that Dane has now seemingly found his place in that? What would Captain Ganny's ultimate place be? Or is he going to die in his bed on a ship that he runs?
Oh, yes, if he can't find a way of getting back in with the Navy or the Scout Service at some point.
Okay.
He will get as close as he can with that.
Okay.
So he's pseudo at the moment, and who knows whether he can get closer.
Okay. Then, unless there's anything else anyone else has to add to that, and that brings.
I thought Captain Ganny would make a good tutor at the University of Space Phoenix towards the end of his career, sort of, someone with industry experience coming in.
What's this transmission we're getting? It's a class action against the University of Space Phoenix for fraud and... Then that, I guess, brings us to the end of our session, guys. So then let me bring us back to our main screen here. And... there we are. Then, for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for part 2 of Intermezzo Uno, the space between our last campaign arc and our current one. And actually, I think I can officially do this right now.
Ooh. Oh.
Yeah.
There we go. As is always the case,
if you change the title.
As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. There is also a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server in the description of the video. We have a channel there dedicated to the Borderland Run campaign, as well as most other games we run on the channel, and other ones like Finding a Group or GM Discussion or Virtual Tabletop Chat. Lots of different... lots of different people on the channel. A really terrific community has been built up on the server over the years, and you're more than welcome to join us over there. There's also a link down below to our friends at Noble Knight Games. Noble Knight Games is the preeminent unionized retailer of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs in North America. Not only do they have a great selection of new role-playing games, board games, and card games, they have an unmatched selection of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs. If they don't have something in stock that you're looking for, you can put it on a want list, and they'll send you an email when it comes in. And if you make a purchase of $10 or more through their website, be sure to enter the code MUSERMASHUP. All caps, all one word. It's listed in the description of the video, and you'll save yourself 10% in your purchase. That'll change at the end of September 2024, so if you're listening to this after that time, come back to one of our more recent videos and you will find what the current discount code is. There's also a link down below to something called Heroes Save Villages. That is the charity fundraising campaign we run on the channel. It benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, a really incredible organization active in over 130 countries, benefiting over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children. All donations through that link go directly to them. None of it goes to the channel or any other middleman. It just goes to benefit the kids who are serviced by SOS Children's Villages International. And it's a small way of saying thank you from now until the end of the year. If you've donated $25 or more to the Hero Save Villages campaign since January 1st, 2024. We invite you to head on over to the Charity Initiatives channel on the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where we have been voting for the charity sessions for the remainder of the year. We have 4 more that will be coming up. They will be mashups of classic modules with games that are not designed to be played with. The first of which we're playing next week. Our generous donors have voted for us to play the classic Expedition to the Barrier Peaks with Acton Cthulhu 2D20. So we're looking forward to playing that next weekend. As soon as that's over, we'll open up voting for the next round of mashups. So if you've donated $25 or more since January 1st to the Hero Save Villages campaign, head on over to the Charity Initiatives channel at the next weekend, at end of next weekend, and you'll be able to start voting on our next mashup. The last thing I will say is a huge thank you to our stalwart travelers. So James, David, Carl, and Graham, thank you so much for playing playing today, guys. Congratulations on successfully negotiating Elehase's return.
Yes.
And with only a moderate amount of bloodshed. So, for those listening at home, we'll be back on the world in 2 weeks' time. But until then, we hope that we gave you a few hours to take your mind off the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our travelers have encountered on simply trying to return triumphantly from their last mission. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.